Okay, so let's get things moving. We have a lot to do today, a lot to cover. Let me start by saying that if I start coughing and it looks like I'm going to die, I'm not going to die, okay? So I'm just coughing. I'm just coughing bad stuff out. Not on you. I'll make sure that I'll shift the targets. Yes. Okay, so I have plenty of stuff here to control my coughing, including some night Tylenol that gets me drowsy. So if I start to slow down my voice like this, I'm trying to catch up with my thinking. Okay, so fifth week, week number 5. Before we get to the details of what's going to happen from now on, I want to share with you the results of the survey, the stop, start, continue survey. I wanted to share the results with you. I'm not going to go through each and every single one of you feedback, but aggregated results, the ones that really got highlighted, I want to bring that up. And I want to say what's going to be done with some of the feedback, okay? So stop. Let's see. What do you want me to stop doing? Group presentation was the #1. Stop that. Stop the madness. Really? Yes, it was the #1. So group presentation, surprise ones will not happen anymore. Like that one. That was a surprise one. However, we're going to have a group presentation. Yes, because you're going to have a project that will be done in groups. It will be released a little bit later, around week 10, most likely, at 9, 10. So one of the aspects of that group project is the source code, the coding, but also there's a presentation about that. So at least you know up front, at least you know when it will be. It will be in the last day of class, okay? The presentation. But surprise, today we have a group presentation. No, that's not happening. That is not happening anymore, okay? Long classes. Well, unfortunately, you have to stick with me for 4 hours. That's the nature of what you sign up for, okay? We have a lot of things to cover. And even though I'm not here the one blasting for 4 hours straight, because I don't want to do that, you don't want to hear that. But classes they are long, and that's the nature of it. There's not much that can be done about that, to be quite honest. A few additional ones, they were just one-offs, but I said, no, let me mention those as well. Countdowns. Some people don't like the countdowns. The countdown is not about pressuring, okay? It's really about pacing us. We know that we have 5 minutes for a break. We know that we have 50 minutes to get done with an exercise. So we know where we are, and we can schedule ourselves as we go through. So I'm a big fan, and I'm going to keep doing that. For bonus, questions for bonus. Well, do you want the bonus to continue? Do you want bonus? Then you have to give me something back. And what I'm asking is just, okay, have you gone through the bonus? Give me some questions there. Yeah, exactly. So someone even said, forcing us to ask questions for bonus. Very dramatic. I'm just emphasizing the
Nothing's being forced.
Yeah, it's not being forced. I mean, it's a bonus. Come on. So you do that if you want. Now, if you want free bonus, well, you know what? Maybe another class they're giving out. I mean, they're advertising free bonus here. So you should go. But again, just the questions. It's just a way to stimulate your thinking. Even if you don't have a clear question, like someone came to me saying, I don't have a question. But I said, you know what? I'm sure that you want to know more about a topic, more about something there. So say that, okay, I would like to get to know more about this particular topic or that particular topic. But yeah. So in a way, there's not much that I can do with the stop here. But again, now at least you know. At least you know. Start. More examples, more hands-on, more practice. Okay, the thing with MVC is that even the most basic application will take you a lot of time to get it set up, okay? Now, I'm thinking about ways on how I can provide more things. Maybe I'm gonna start to do some, I have a base project that you can get off of Centennial and then do some exercise on top of that. I'm gonna try to do something like that. Maybe in class, most likely extra if you want, not as bonus, but really if you want to dig deeper into the content, you can. We have all kinds of, all levels of students, all kinds of students. Some students want to stick with the basic minimum, that's fine. So, because there will be a minimum that you need to cover. Some students will want more advanced stuff, advanced concepts, maybe they know this already, and that's fine. So I want to be here for both extremes, you know. So I'll see what else I can provide in terms of more hands-on, more practice, but I agree with that. I think that, and I try to make things as hands-on as possible, but I'll see what else I can do that you can carry on with that at home, another time. Start with 10 bits, more 10 bits. Well, my supply has dried out, you know? But I can tell you that in our test one, we're gonna have some sweets there, just to balance between the sour parts that you're gonna be going through, okay? So this will come back. We'll have this again. Others, fix Visual Studio. Yeah, fair question, fair point. And I did what I could so far with this particular class. I've reported the problems with the numbers, the problems already about a week and a half ago. I'll follow up. If they don't seem to have been fixed, I'll follow up and see what's going on. As you go through different stations, if you find more, or whenever you find, let me know, because then I add to the list. Even if it might, I mean, you don't know the list on top of your head. I have a list here. So just let me know. Oh, I found this one here. When I create a new project, it doesn't show me the project. That's fine. Let me know. I'll write it down, and I'll report that to the powers to be. Continuing. Bonus flipped classroom, flipped class, which is the fact that I ask you to come prepared for the next class. And like for this one, I ask you to have a look at the 4 initial videos and come up with some questions. So again, this style, a lot of people like this style. I really like this style because when I'm presenting things here, it's not the first time that you see that. You have done some exercise about that, and hopefully you have questions there already. So I'm enjoying that, and it seems that a lot of you are also enjoying that. The videos as well, the recordings of the classroom, and the walkthrough videos for the projects, for the codes, seems to be a good thing. So again, we'll continue that. And some other things, the use of Padlet to be able to ask anonymous questions, and Nearpods that I use for quiz and pooling. So a lot of you have demonstrated that those are important aspects. Okay, so any questions about what I just showed? Stop, start, continuing. Any further points that you want to make? Talking about Padlets, I'll keep Padlet open here. You can also do that via our Padlets, okay? So it's going to be open there all day long. So Nearpods, padlet.com/Ederson/007. Okay, so let's get to the juicy part of today. Okay, so let's start with the questions that you have submitted for this class. Keep them open, keep them close by. So as you go through the day, you make sure that if I don't address them here, you have a chance to post them on Padlet or ask me one-on-one. We're going to have time for individual work. So make sure that you ask them. Make sure that you don't leave here, because what I will not have the chance, what I'll not have the chance is really to go through one by one individually and reply to each one of your emails. I see them briefly, but again, bring this to me. If I have not covered them here, post that on Padlet, and I will address them as I see them in Padlet, okay? MVC, we are back to our big MVC journey. Yesterday in the morning, I was interviewing a developer for a podcast, for the Solo Coro podcast. Guess which technologies he worked with? MVC, C#, exactly what you are seeing here. So I just want to say that this is what the market wants, okay? And this was not the first developer that I'm interviewing for the podcast that works with that, you know. So again, this is current with the market. What you're seeing here is what the market out there, the industry, is asking for, okay? Now let me ask you this. What question should I ask a developer that works at Google? What question would you like to ask a developer that works at Google? Do you have something in mind that I should? Because I'll be interviewing one on Monday. This guy works for Google, and I need to ask him questions. So if he was here and he was open for you to ask questions to him, what question would you like to ask him? How the hiring process. I had that in my list. I had that. How did you get the job? How did you go through? How were you accepted? You know. Good one. Anything else that you want?
Why do you want to leave? Kind of related to that, I would ask them like, what types of questions did they ask you in the interview? When you interviewed, like were they traditional coding problems, or were they logic problems, or were they a mixture of problems, mathematical problems, physics problems? Like...
I'll make sure that I'll address that. What is that?
No, sorry. Some of the job questions actually ask for like physics majors or physics background.
Okay.
And they include like computer science, coding, and physics. So.
Machine. Yep. Go ahead. Work-life balance. Okay. Okay. Good point. You have to be single. You have to be able to dedicate 12 hours a day.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Great. Anything else that you want me to cover there? That you would be curious? That you would be personally curious about someone that works for Google?
What languages do you study?
What technologies? What languages?
Yeah. How much of the practice that went during their time in school was actually used in the workplace? Not like, and how much they had to learn based off their company's practices?
Got it. That's a good one. It's a good one. So, how beneficial was the studies that he went through to get to that job, and what else he had to learn on his own, maybe on the job or maybe as a side? Great. I'll make sure that I ask that. Awesome. Awesome. Good. So let's see how this conversation will go tomorrow morning. Great. So let's get to our MVC life here. Okay. The way I see this course is that it has 3 phases. This 229 course. We finished the first phase, which was the first 4 weeks. In the first 4 weeks, we covered, in the first 2 weeks, a very basic example, part invites. We just went through that, and then we were able to see more or less how an MVC application works, but a very, very simple one, very briefly and very high level. And then we had that week where we spoke about C# advanced concepts, some of the things that we need there. And you're going to see a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing today, code-wise. I'm going to say, remember that we saw that in the C# essentials? A lot of that. We're going to be working with Lambda today. You're going to be working with collection initialize, link. We're going to be working as well. In the next class, you're going to be working with extension methods. So we're going to be applying those things. There's a reason why we revisit them, because you're going to be using them. So part invites, C# essentials, and then we did Razor last week. So that was the first phase, I would say. Now, the next 5 weeks, we're going to be talking about a lot about this example here. Sports Store. Sports Store is a project, it's an e-commerce project that you're going to start from zero, and it will become an e-commerce application where we have a shopping cart that people can add things to the shopping cart. We have a checkout process. We have an administration side of the system to be able to manage products, to be able to manage orders. So you're going to learn a lot of MVC using that as our ongoing example, starting today. So we're going to go through chapters 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 of the book. All 5 chapters, it's all about this example, and growing and growing and growing. I'm going to share a lot of codes, step-by-step code for that. So one of the reasons why you may have heard that this course is hard, difficult, whatever, is because of that one. Because there's a lot of content, it's very intense, but here is the way I'm going to approach this. Because if I try to go chapter by chapter, line by line, explaining each and everything, you're going to need an extra 4 hours today just to go through chapter 8 completely. So we're going to split the effort here. Some of the things, the aspects that I think are the most important ones, I'll be here in front. I'll be explaining you that. You'll be trying to do some practice on that based on the videos, and then I'll explain them. Some will be there available, and it will be in a way optional. If you want to go through them because you have the videos, and you can count on me to explain you anything that may have stopped you from progressing. But I'm going to focus on the main aspects of each one of those chapters, the main things that I really want you to leave this course knowing about, okay? So in my idea of teaching and learning is not just me blasting out information. There are different ways on how you can learn. You are not here to see me teaching. You are here to learn. And there are different ways to facilitate and help you in your learning process, okay? So not very traditional of blasting here 4 hours straight of content, because it will be... Now, even though I think that I have an efficient way to get you to learn, but today will be a tough day. I'll tell you up front. You're going to be staring at this with a white face. You know? What's going on here? I'll be asking questions. Any questions? Nobody has a question. Not because you are understanding everything, but because you don't even know what to ask. Okay? I'll tell you up front. This will happen. Okay? Now, again, I'm here to facilitate and help you with that, all look at what's going on here. Okay? Great. So let's get things moving here. Just make sure. Okay. MVC. Okay. So the 3 main things that we're going to be talking about today, actually, let me get rid of this one for a second. Based on what you have seen in the first 4 videos, in the question that you have asked, what are your expectations for today? What do you think that you're going to be, what would you like me to cover today? Let me hear a little bit of that. Go ahead.
Dependency injection.
Dependency injection, that's a big one. I can tell you one thing. I can tell you this up front. If you are able to get out of this course here at the end of the semester knowing what that is, you're way ahead of 70% of coders out there, of programmers out there. Because that's a big concept, and once you get a good grasp of that, you are light years ahead of everybody else. I had a hard time grasping this concept. And we're going to be talking about a lot about that. Go ahead.
I understand this, but I don't understand why you use it.
Okay. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking why it's important, and yep, I will be.
How we're kind of using the MyLocalDB and stuff like that, like how we're integrating that necessarily. Like I see like all the application context and stuff, and like I see it, but I don't understand it kind of thing, how that works.
I think about that as a big puzzle, that you start to add your pieces there, and they start to connect together. So I'll be addressing that as well. I'll be addressing that. And make sure that if that is not clear yet, you ask the question, okay? Anybody else want to voice your expectations for today? Aside from not getting a code from me. Connection string.
Why did you make a JSON object? Another object.
Okay, we're going to be addressing that. That's the configuration file. And it's not only for connection string, it can be used for more things. But again, right on point. We're going to be talking about that as well. Okay? So, as I said, chapter 8 has a, yeah.
I feel a little bit weak on the link, so I thought you were going to cover entity framework?
Yes. So we're going to be talking about the entity framework, and you're going to have plenty of opportunities to use link more and more to filter, to sort, to do all kinds of, to select which fields you're going to use. So you're going to have quite a lot of chance to practice that, okay? Okay, so as I said, chapter 8, very long, a lot of concepts there, but there are three main ones that I would like to explore. Now, based on what I have done already with the other class, with the other sections, and as I said, you are the lucky ones that after I tried everything with the other class, I know today how it goes, and I know how to optimize our class. We're going to be able to cover one topic today, and it's really database. So my initial goal, so we have those three items here: understanding database repository, working with database, work with entity framework. I combine them in this database topic that we are talking about, okay? So a lot will be covered today on this. Actually, this is the focus of the class. I had planned to talk a little bit more about advanced things on routing and partial views, but those will stay for next class, okay? I'm sure, because again, I've done this 4 times this week, and this is how it goes. So we're going to be focused really on the database aspect of things here. Our old diagram there. So as I said, you're going to know, it might even be one of the tests. Blindfolded, draw this diagram. You should be able to draw this diagram because you're going to see this a lot, every single class. Now, I bring this overview, this general diagram, but then quickly you're going to see that today we're going to focus on that part there. We're going to focus on database and EF. When I say EF, what is that? Entity framework, okay? So we're going to be focused on this part here. Yes, we still need a little bit of controller here because model does not live on its own. It has to communicate with the rest of the system. Now, you can think of this as the rest of the system here. Model has only the controller to talk and interact with the other elements of the application, okay? So model just knows, actually, model doesn't know about anything here. It just knows that, hey, this guy here called controller, it calls me when it needs a service, whenever it needs me, okay? So we're going to be focusing on the model and this communication with the controller here as well. That's the first one. I also, as I said, I wanted to do some routing, but this will stay for next week. In this one as well, partial views. It's another thing about inside views. We're going to also leave this for next weekend, okay? As I remember this already, I'll mention this up front. Next weekend we have class, okay? I know that Monday is a holiday, but Sunday we are here.
Yay.
Is it,
Yeah, just saying that it doesn't have class? No, it has. It has, because unless they say in the calendar that it doesn't, it has. Okay, Monday, not, but Sunday, yes. Okay, so we're going to have our Thanksgiving dinner, lunch here. Breakfast. Maybe tidbits. Maybe pumpkin tidbits. Okay, so 3 and 4, 2 and 3, it will be our Thanksgiving celebration. Okay, chapter 8, the book. If you have the book, that's great. If you don't, well, let's hope for the best here with the videos and the additional links that I give. But again, I would say it's really great to have the book because it's yet another way that you can follow through the contents, either digital format or the physical one. So just to give context, today is about chapter 8. As I mentioned, keep your questions open, keep your questions close by so we address them, the ones that you submitted today, for today's class, the ones that you went through. Okay, database, entity framework, and the repositories. So far, with the part invites, what you have seen is how to store information in memory. But when you close the application, the information is gone. Now we need to persist that. We need to store that information somewhere. And you did some practice there with the sports store. What was the repository name in the sports store example?
Sorry, there were two of them, right? There was like artificial one or like a throwaway one.
Okay.
Fake one, fake repository.
There was a fake one.
Fake one
Yep.
and real one, right? Yeah.
And then interface.
In the interface, yes, we had that. So we're gonna, beginning of our class today, I'll be walking you through the elements of that fake repository, okay? But I'm gonna start with a diagram here. So, you have seen this before, so we're gonna focus on that area over there. So the next slides, what we're gonna be doing is, I'm gonna be zooming in this box here. I'll be bring this up front, okay? So we start with a general overview, and then let's zoom in on that spot with the connection to the controller here. So we have the controller, and we have our big model. So we're going to expand this. We're going to start to populate the model. Now, when you think about the models that you have done and gone through during the exercise, which one was the very initial one, the very basic one, the very first one that you have seen? Which one? Yeah, so which model is the simplest one, the most basic one that we have in those initial videos there? Products, okay? So that's the first one. So we have a product class that represents a product, one single product, okay? But very quickly, we need to be able to collect more than one product. We need to collect a collection of products. So what classes came about and what elements came about to help you collecting and storing in memory that collection of products? The iQueryable, yeah, there is a component of iQueryable, but we didn't create the iQueryable. We created something that has an iQueryable inside of it, which is what? The repository, the list. Again, which component have we created to aggregate multiple products? We have created an interface. The interface is called what? iProduct repository. So we created an iProduct repository, okay? That is an interface. I is for interface. Who can tell me what is an interface?
Kind of like a generic rule to use in any class that is selected.
It's a good way to describe that. Let's I'd say unpack that a little bit further. What's the difference between an interface and a class? Okay. Let's keep unpacking. Let's keep going. What is the difference aside from the keyword? Because one uses the interface keyword, the other one uses the class keyword.
Multiple inheritance.
Multiple inheritance it plays a part because a class can inherit from multiple classes, correct? A class can inherit from multiple classes. Yes. Correct? No. A class can only inherit from one single class. However, a class can inherit from multiple interfaces. Okay? So again, you have an animal class and then you have a dog class. So the dog class can inherit from animal if animal is a concrete class, but it can inherit from another class. Now, it can inherit from other interfaces. So it can inherit actually from multiple interfaces. So in a way, interface is the strategy that is used in C# to allow a multi-inheritance scenario. Okay? That's one aspect. But I would like to see another difference. What is another difference between class and interface? There is one key difference that, think about methods, functions. Yeah.
You have to implement something from the interface or in the inheritance class?
That's correct. You have to implement. That's getting very close to what I'm looking for. Jerry had one?
Is it abstract?
Abstract. So interface is not a class, first of all. It's something else. It's an interface. Now, let's think about the methods of that interface. We classify those methods as abstract. What does it mean to have an abstract method?
You cannot have a concrete.
It does not have.
You can't initialize an object of an abstract class. You have to state what type of.
That's correct as well. You cannot initialize an interface. And the methods of that interface, they are all abstract, which means that they don't have an implementation. They don't have a body. They just have the name of the methods, the parameters of the methods. When I say that they have the name, the parameters, the return value, the return type, sorry. What is that? What is that? What am I describing here? The name, the parameters, the return type. What is that? Is a method? No. It's kind of a template, but there is a more specific term used. The signature. The signature. So it's the method signature. It's just a template. See, I think about an interface as a promise. It's promising that if a class in the future inherits from an interface, whatever methods are there, they have to be implemented.
So an interface has multiple methods. Does a promise mean that all of those methods must be implemented or just at least one?
All of them. All of them. They all need to be implemented in the child of that interface. Okay? Again, the idea here is not to have a course about a session about interface, but I think it's important to recap so we understand that this is an interface. There is no concrete methods there. What is the only thing that is in that interface? If you can look at your code, that's fine. If you have the code easily available there. What is the only thing that we have in this interface? We have a products. We have a collection of products there. We're going to see why we are using iCredible in a second. So I'm going to open. So we have the iProduct repository, which is our interface. Then what? Then what else have you done to implement something concrete about that, from that? Which other components have you created to be able to store temporarily the products in memory? Again, which other structure have you created to be able to store the products in memory? Because This does not store anything. It's an interface. We cannot create it. We cannot initialize it. We have to create something else. The fake what? Repository. So we have a fake repository, okay? Great. So we have this component there, which inherits from my product repository. Because my product repository has products there, then fake product repository needs to implement that. iProduct repository is promising that whoever wants me, I'll make sure that I give you products. I don't know how those guys will do that, but it's up to them. Now, here's the thing. Controller. The only thing that controller knows about this whole thing here, controller knows about products, controller knows about iProduct repository. But from here on, controller does not know about anything else. It doesn't care. It doesn't care that we are using a fake repository or a real one. It does not know that. It does not care. It should not care about that. Something else will tell me that. But let's go one step at a time here. Let me open the code now. Okay? I'm going to open the codes that it's part of the exercise that you have done. It's step 3 and 4, if I'm not mistaken. So here's what I'm going to do. Okay, you have a question there next week. Yeah, let's see. Yes. And again, themed. It's a pumpkin Timbits. It is. It is.
Whenever you want it.
They are open very early. Okay. So let's have a look at our models here. Let's start with our product model. Again, there's nothing much going on here. Just a simple set of properties there. Not much going on there. Let's see our iProduct repository. Okay, so again, you see interface here. You see the name of the interface. Every time that you see an I before the name of something, and a capital I, it usually means that this is an interface, okay? Like you have iQueryable, we're going to get there in a second, iEnumerable. Those are interfaces. They are not concrete classes. Okay, so the only thing that we have in our interface is products. What is products here? Is it a method, a function, constructor? What is that? A property. Why is it a property? Because you have a get. So you have when you see get, set, it means that this is a property, okay? Now, is this a read and write property, a read only, a write only? What kind of property is this? Read only, because you just have the get. You don't have the set, okay? Now, let's look at the beginning of this here. Now what, Edris? I mean, you told me, actually, which types of collections have we seen so far in this course? We have seen iEnumerable. What else have we seen? Have we seen in terms of storing a collection of items? A list, okay? Now, we're going to have a look at iQueryable as well. iQueryable is yet another one. iQueryable inherits from iEnumerable. Okay, just so you know, iEnumerable is really the topmost interface in terms of collections. Again, iQueryable inherits from iEnumerable. Why are we using iQueryable here? We could use iEnumerable. We could use list here. But we are using iQueryable. I'll tell you this. And this should make it clear why we are starting to use now iQueryable. So when we are dealing with databases, with data coming from the database, there are two strategies when we use LINQ. LINQ, just to recall, LINQ is that language that you can query data. You can do all kinds of things with data. If I have a collection of products and I want to retrieve just the products that cost more than $20, which methods would I be using? I only want to see products that price is greater than 20. Which method of LINQ would I be using? We have methods to filter, methods to sort, methods to select. So again, if I want to filter my collection, which method from LINQ would you be using? Select is only to say, I want this field, and this field. This property, this and that. So select is not for filtering. There's something else that we use for filtering. Where? So where is, we apply where to a collection to filter data, okay? Now, there are three strategies when we're dealing with database. One is that I can say, give me all products, and then all products come to memory. Memory, where is memory? Memory in the server, okay? So all products come to memory, and I say, I just want the ones that meet the criteria of price being greater than 20. And then it gets rid of the rest of it. It gets rid of the ones that don't meet the criteria, okay? That's one approach. Bring all to memory and filtering memory. The second approach is go to the database knowing already that we just want the products that are greater than, that the price is greater than 20, and only returning the right set of products. So based on scenario 1 and scenario 2, which one do you think is most efficient? The second one, why? Because you're not grabbing all the data. Imagine that we have a table of products with 1,000 products. Then all of a sudden, I have 1,000 products in memory, and then I remove the ones that I don't want. It's not very efficient. So that's actually the difference between using an iQueryable and IEnumerable. IEnumerable is doing all the work in memory. It's not being selective when getting the data from the database. iQueryable, works as a second way. It tells the database already that only give me those products that I want, and it only brings back that smaller set of products. Way more efficient memory-wise, bandwidth-wise. Again, way more efficient. So I'm just trying to describe here why use one or the other. I know we are using fake repository. Fake repository has nothing to do with database yet, but we are starting already from an iQueryable to get ready that afterwards we're going to be using our entity framework product repository. So that's what iQueryable does. It's more efficient when dealing with data coming from the database, okay? I want that to stick around in your heads a little bit longer. Okay, so that's our product repository with the product's property. Let's move forward here to our fake repository. So just right here, if we recall a little bit our C# essentials, there are two aspects that are covered here that you can relate to C# essentials, the big presentation that we have done that you asked me to stop doing. Which are the two aspects of that C# thing that you can see here?
Lambda.
You have Lambda here, and look at this. You have a collection initialization. Okay, both of them we spoke about in that C# essentials. Okay, so this should not be that strange. But let me highlight this. We are using Lambda here, and maybe I should ask this question to the group that presented about Lambda. I still remember you.
Which one?
Yes, yes. Lambda. We can use Lambda here in this product because product is a read-only property, okay? If product was read and write, we would not be able to use Lambda here. Lambda, in the context of properties, is just for read-only properties, okay? So here we are saying, return a new list of products and initialize your hard-coded list as this. So we are initializing here with 3 products. We're creating an anonymous object here. Sorry, we're creating a new object here. It's not anonymous. We're creating a new product, and we're initializing 2 properties of that product, and we are doing this 3 times, okay? Now, if we have not placed this part, this would return a list of products, but we want to make this compatible with iQueryable. So out of the gates, a list is not fully compatible with the iQueryable. That's why at the end I have to say as iQueryable, and this is the type. So this can work well together with iQueryable.
What is a lambda expression?
Lambda expression? Okay, how about the group that presented? Tell him about that. Nobody knows what were the groups anymore. Let me see here. Let me see what is the group. Okay. Again, anyone in general, just open to everybody. Anyone can help me out here describing lambda? Maybe my comp129 students. Yes, I know who you are. Okay, so lambda is just a simplified way to assign values, to use anonymous types, anonymous methods. There is another way that we could have written this, and I'll just show for the sake of clarification here. We could have said something like this. I'm just going to comment it out, this part at the top. And that would be the same thing as saying this. I would have a get, and I would say return. Return what? Return this.
So the lambda itself is kind of just replacing the...
It's a way to simplify things. Let me just get rid of this here so we can see. Okay, so you see? This would be the other way to write the gets, okay, without the lambda expression. Lambda just simplifies and make it shorter, make your code shorter when you are dealing with read-only properties like this, okay? This is the same as the lambda one, okay? So again, you can explore more about lambda in the videos that we have gone through or in the additional links that I have provided before. Okay, so we have a set of fake products here from a list. And then what? Then we should be able to run our application with that. Now I know. Let's go to the controller. By the way, I don't want to dive into that right now, but look at the controllers. When I ask you what is the default controller, what is the answer to that? Default controller is called home. And default action is index, okay? Great, but we don't have a home controller here. We have a product controller. So there are ways that you can say, hey, the default is no longer home, it's something else. But we're not going to be covering that today. We're going to be leaving that for next week, okay? But I just want to explain why we don't have a home controller there, because we have configured this in a slightly different way. But knowing that product controller is our main controller, and knowing as well that list is our default action in this application, let's run this and see what happens here. This code is available in Centennial already. Actually, I didn't show this yet. So on Centennial, I changed a few things here. If you go to content, and if you scroll down, you're going to see source codes. In source codes, you're going to see student system. All the steps are here. All the source code for the steps. For each one, think about those steps as the video steps, okay? So if you are in video 3, then this is the code for video 3. The same thing with Sports Store. I have posted there already the codes for up to chapter 8, part 4, video 4. So it's here already available. And I'll be sharing more codes as we go along through the day, through the morning today. So let's go to our application here. So this is what I printed out. The three fake products. Look at the URL. There's nothing there. So again, normally you'd expect a home controller and an index action. We have neither of those. We have product controller and we have a list action. I'll show where we define that, but again, I don't want to explain why we did that. See here? Here we are just saying, instead of using use MVC with default route, we are saying use MVC, and then we say the default controller is product, the default action is list. But we're going to explore that. We're going to explore that in the next weekend.
So when I was doing the tutorial,
Yep.
I missed the question mark and it didn't load properly.
Got it. Because you are not, if you miss the question mark, you are making this parameter mandatory. You're not making it optional. Question mark makes it optional.
Oh, that's the double ball.
I'm guessing we're going to use that ID to find information on a specific.
Yes, yes. But again, more about that, we're going to save for next weekend, okay? I don't want to deviate too much from here. So this is executing, this is running. Now, let's look at our product controller here once again. So product controller is very simple right now. What is this here? Is this a method, a property, a function? What is this? Okay? Constructor. How do you know that this is a constructor? Same name as the class, and this is not enough to have the same name as the class. No return type. Okay, so no return type. Great. So this tells me that this is a constructor. So the application is running. The controller run. The action run, which is list. List is returning the list of products here. But repository, what is the type of repository? Just look there. What's the type? It's an interface. I mean, we're declaring as an iProduct repository. But iProduct repository is an interface. It doesn't have concrete methods there. So how come we are getting the right products here if we are declaring this as an interface? Okay, that's fine. So, but where is fake repository here? We don't see fake repository here. How is it used in fake repository? How is repository becoming fake repository? Because it is doing that. Because we see the repository there, we see the data. But again, how come that is happening? I don't see that anywhere here talking about fake repository. Again, this is the whole code of product controller. Nothing to hide here.
So you're saying, why is it repository? Like, it's just repository, it's not fake repository.
Well, but here's the thing. We just have iProduct repository and fake product repository. If this is returning the list of products from the fake repository, somewhere this is becoming fake repository. Somewhere something is happening that is making it as a fake repository.
Is that because fake repository inherits from product repository?
That's fine. Fake repository inherits from iProduct repository. Yes. But again, it doesn't explain how come this is becoming fake repository. It doesn't explain that.
We're implementing the interface to get the products from the fake repository.
When we implement the interface, well, where is the implementation of the interface? Where is that? The fake, okay, so let's go to the fake repository here again. Yeah, the products are here. I get it. And the products are being printed out. But my question remains. How did repository become the fake repository? How did that happen? Because, I mean, if I just say that this is not a repository, it does tell me that this is a fake repository. It just says that, okay, I need an I repository. Something else might be happening, must be happening, that is making repository a fake repository. Something else there in the code is doing that. In the view. Okay, the view really doesn't care about that. Let's open the view here for a second. Let's just follow your thought process there. List here. it's not telling me about anything about fake repository here. Oh, I have a collection there of products, but again, no reference yet about fake repository.
Constructor.
The constructor, okay. So let's look at the constructor, okay. The constructor here, you mean?
No,
Which constructor?
the one in the product.
In the iProduct repository. Okay, iProduct repository is still an interface. It doesn't have any implementation here. There's nothing here in iProduct repository. Actually, to be quite honest, iProduct repository doesn't even know that well about fake repository. Fake repository is the one that knows about iProduct repository. So again, I'll keep the question. How come repository became a fake repository? Somewhere this connection was made. Somewhere. And actually, if you did exercise 1, 2, 3, 4, you wrote the code for that. You saw the code for that.
Sorry, configure out.
Keep going. Which line?
Configure out add transient.
Add transient.
Yeah, add product.
Okay, where is that?
Add start out.
Okay, so let's follow that lead. Let's follow our investigation here. Okay, so look at this. Right here, in this line of code, this is what it's doing, the connection.
So is it saying
Services.addTransient.
Okay?
so that's saying a fake when we call upon product repository, look for a fake product repository.
And that is called? Yes. That is called dependency injection. Because the dependency, and what does it mean dependency? Dependency means something depending on something else. So you see, the controller does not depend on the fake repository. The controller depends on the I repository. But somewhere else in the code, we are making the link between the I repository, iProduct repository, and the fake product repository. And that's where. That's it. This is it. This is, to be quite honest, this was the most complicated aspect for me to understand about dependency injection and how this all worked together. Now, we add this, and then because of that, we are able, in the constructor, to say, hey, constructor, you need to get an iProduct repository called repo. This repo here, this becomes fake repository and gets assigned to our repository that we're going to be using throughout our controller here.
Why do this for reports?
Okay, let me hold that for a second.
Is it saying that iRepository repo can be a fake repository type, or
I missed one sentence there. You're asking if this is, keep going.
if that dependency injection is saying whatever this is can be a fake repository type, or it has to be, like now all of the ones that every time you call this, it has to be.
Every time a product controller gets created, it will be, because of that add transient, it will be a fake repository.
And no longer an iRepository.
Well, here's the thing. When you say that something is an I something, I enumeration, I whatever, for us to really use that, it has to become a concrete class. It has to become an object of a concrete class. So for us to use an iProduct repository called repository, we cannot use it if it's still just a repository. It has to become a concrete object of a concrete class. Okay? Now, let me go to your points. Why do we need to go through all this? Couldn't I just use fake repository here? You could, but imagine this. Imagine that we have a large application. One thing that if you do that, you are doing, is that you are making the controller know too much about this. You are, one of the principles of object-oriented is that the different components are not very tied together. When you make controller see directly the fake repository, you are making this relationship too tight. It's become too rigid.
Coupling.
Yes. Yeah, you are not decoupling enough. If you decide to change fake repository to something else in the future, you're going to have to go through each and every line of code and replace wherever you see fake repository with real repository. Now, if you use this strategy, which this is called the repository pattern. In object-oriented programming, in code in general, you may have heard this term before, patterns. Pattern is a way to solve a certain problem that repeats itself over and over again. There are many patterns. There are many strategies to resolve similar problems. This is called the repository pattern, where we have an interface, and then we have real repositories behind that. Okay? So I don't know if, even if it's not that clear, it will become more clear as we expand this. Okay? But again, it's for us to keep this connection very loose and keep this very, very flexible. Again, imagine that you have a large application and you have many controllers and you have many places that you're going to need a repository. If you don't use this strategy, instead of going to one single place to change the repository name, implementation, you'd have to go through your entire system. Now, when we're going to implement our real repository, we just have to go back to, and I lost my pointer, here. You just need to go back to this line of code and say, hey, no longer, when you need an iProduct repository, no longer use the fake one, use the EF one. We go to one single line of code, and we change the data storage, the data retrieval, just because you change one single line of code. You're going to see that when we start working with the Entity Framework repository. Let me see what else we have here. That demonstrates this. You see, I run this application already. It showed you the list of products. What if I comment this out and try to run? Let's try this. See what will happen there. Any guesses? Look. And again, when you see an error message, either in Visual Studio or like this, read it, because it's telling you what's going on. Okay? Don't be overwhelmed about the amount of information. Just read it. Yeah, but just start from the top. You don't need to go all the way. See, it says already here, unable to resolve service for type. iProduct repository, I say, hey, it's trying to, actually, I didn't mention this. The add transient creates a memory table on MVC that says, whenever the application needs an iProduct repository, is that a mapping? Oh, yes. Oh, use the fake one. So it creates a very simple table in memory. It maps the list of interfaces with a list of concrete implementations. If the application needs an iProduct repository, give it a fake one, or give it a real one. But just because of that line of code, that add transient line, and that's what it says here. It tried to go in memory. Oh, okay, do I have a concrete implementation for iProduct repository set up? No, I don't. So I don't know what to give to that constructor, because here's the other thing that I did not fully explain. See, we have a constructor here. We are used to, okay, we have a constructor, so something must be creating this class, creating an object of this class. Okay? The question is, who creates that? Who creates this product controller? Who creates that for us? We didn't create that. MVC. MVC is what it does behind the scenes. We don't see that. Sometimes that gets confusing because It seems like magical because nobody's creating this product controller. It is MVC is taking care of that for us because the URL has no parameters there. It's creating the default controller, which in this case, it's product controller. Okay, so where's the constructor of product controller? Oh, it's here. Oh, product controller needs an interface as a parameter. Okay, do I have this mapping with the add transient? Do I have a map? Which repo should I send to it? Do I have an iProduct repository mapping? Oh, it's mapping to the fake repository. Okay, so when MVC calls the constructor, it figures out that there's a correlation between iProduct repository and fake product repository, and it sends in a new instance of a fake product repository because that add transient. That transient is making the linkage.
For the add transient, can you have multiple of the same interface but to different concrete classes?
Okay, so let's think about the question. Any guesses out there? Could we have?
My guess is no, that each one would have to go to a specific.
Correct. Correct, because then it would be ambiguous. It would know which one should I send to it. Okay? It would not know. Okay? So again, that is dependency injection. And let's just unpack the name dependency injection. Dependency is when something depends on another thing. Injection is because we are not making this connection in design time, but in runtime. So we are injecting, as the code run, a dependency between the controller and fake repository. Okay? We are injecting that. We don't need to code like that, but we have to inject somewhere. At some point, the connection needs to happen. Okay? Awesome. Okay. So, yeah, we are over time here. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. We're going to have a break. Once we come back, we're going to go to step number 5 of the video. We're going to have 50 minutes to work on step number 5. And I'll be walking around. And yeah, that's it. After the 50 minutes, we're going to stop. And I will go through and explain you that. But again, we're going to work through step number 5. You can use this code here on the Centennial as your starting point. You can use this file as your starting point for part 5 of video 8. Again, some people in other classes, they went to video 9 already. No, it's the video, it's the chapter 8 collection, okay? So start with this one or start with your own if you have your own already. And then let's move to part 5. Part 5 is a 15 minutes video, but you're going to need 3 times that amount of time to get it done properly. So 5 minutes. 5 minutes, we'll be back. Yeah, but it's good. It's a good conversation. Go ahead.
Sir, we still have some troubles here.
Got it. After the 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay?
What is the purpose of fake repositories?
It's so that we have something to implement the I repository.
Okay. So that
Because without it, there's nothing concrete to implement.
Okay.
Answer all our questions.
Good.
Because I was looking through your videos, like, I see what you're doing, but I don't understand like how this works in the back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I saw like, okay, I see these two linking to each other, but like, why does this need to happen?
Yep, I get it.
forgot what an interface was necessarily.
If you open up the Zoom today, basically it has a pretty good explanation. It talks about, okay, so the repository design pattern acts as a middleman or middle layer So the fake repository.
Yeah. Sure, go ahead. No problem.
The rest of the application, the data logger. So it's like that object-oriented concept of like information hiding the data basically. So that the instructor was saying is that if you have, like, what happens if you don't have fake repository? You just have one repository, right? He's saying that in a large application, you have all this information and it slows the application down. Whereas if you have fake repository, the application is not accessing all of the data all the time. It's only accessing the data that you need. Is that kind of?
Okay, not really. Fake repository is just a test repository. Yeah, it's just to use for testing purpose. You don't, in a real application, you may have a fake one just to test, to do some unit testing or something like that. But yeah, it's just for testing purpose. What I was saying about efficiency in memory thing is about the difference between IEnumerable and iQueryable. IEnumerable will bring all the data to memory and will filter that out. iQueryable will bring only the necessary data from the database.
Kind of like
Okay?
it sends a link query first before receiving.
Yeah, actually, when you're dealing with a SQL database, you can monitor the communication of the application in the database. You can see that if you use an IEnumerable, you're going to see a select all. Again, I don't know if you have seen some database commands.
It's not efficient. Yeah.
Oh, but in a way, it says select all products.
And
So it
then-
brings everything.
and then do the rest.
And then memory, which is not efficient, it will filter it out. When you use an iQueryable, you're going to send a command to the database that says select all from table so-and-so product where price greater than 20. Then we just get the small set of data. That's the difference.
I was looking at this website, it's the repository design
Pattern. Yep.
So it talks about the isolation of data.
Yeah.
Their application, the rest. That's what this diagram is about. You know.
Because you want to keep a low coupling.
So again here, the isolation is done right here. The rest of the application doesn't know about these things here.
It accesses all the other stuff through the iRepository.
Through the iRepository. And you want single place, it's that add transit, it's where the connection happens. But I consider the startup class and the program class as the plumbing of your application. It's the configuration of your application.
Everything that needs to be connected.
Yes, it's like in a house, a real plumbing. You are doing the plumbing, then you're going to beautify your house. So you do the plumbing of the application right there, then you build the application on top of it.
Not related to this right now. For the assignments, how much CSS would you want? Because I
Just enough for me to just enough for you to show me that you know where to place the CSS and you know how to reference it.
so all I just used what do you call it? Bootstrap, and then I did very minor, like I just added style sheet.css into the file.
That's enough.
And then that's it.
That's it.
Okay. Because I was like, okay, how beautiful do you want this to be?
No, I'm not. I will not be assessing how the presentation is. I will assessing the flow. That's it.
Okay, so if that's
Okay.
fine, then I'm not going to worry too much about it. Brendan, you went to ham, man. You went to ham. You went to ham.
Okay. So let's carry on. As I said, we're gonna go through. If you want to see the videos are located under week 4. I'm gonna just copy this link here. Also add that to Padlet. I'll insert that in a bit. Let's see here. So again, you can see the video series on Padlet. If you open that, we are talking about video number 4. Video number 5. So you have gone through up to video number 4. If you have not done yet, that's fine. You can download up to this video from Centennial. You can download it from here. If you go to source code, Sports Store chapter 8, you can download the zip file. And then you can start step number 5, video number 5, okay? As you go through, ask me questions. I'll be walking around to answer your questions. This time as well is the best time also if you have questions about your assignments, if you want me to have a look at something, okay? But again, we're going to be doing this for the next 50 minutes, and then I'm going to stop, and I'll explain this code, but only once you tried it first, then I'm going to explain here, okay? So 50 minutes, you have that. 5-0.
1-5 or 5?
5-0, because it is a lot. I'll tell you, it's a lot, okay? Just so quickly, I have a question here. What is the purpose of the fake repository? Fake repository, again, it's just to give you some initial fake data, just to simulate a data source. That's it. It's in a real application, most likely you only have fake repository if you are doing some unit test. By the way, let me mention something about unit test. If you have the book has every concept that the book covers. It covers a unit test example as well. So you don't need to go through that, okay? So if you have the book, if you want to follow the book, the chapters, you can skip the unit test examples that it gives to you. Just focus on the real ones and with the videos. But yeah, that's it. So go for it. If you have questions, I will be around. Oh, yes, yes. Let's have a look. Yeah.
I got a question about the thank you page.
Okay.
Let me show you my interface. My rhyme should be like this at this moment.
Okay.
It's like
Address.
at the recipe when whatever I type here, it should be turned to the thank you page like your.
Okay,
demonstration.
that's fine. That's okay.
But it's not work. I think I followed all these instructions from.
Okay,
the video.
so let's see the button. Let's see what that button is doing.
Add recipes here and.
So let's see the form. So you put a button.
But
There is a
it's
submit, but you don't have a form. I don't see a form tag.
Yeah, but I didn't see any function from your video.
Well, part invites. You have a form in part invites.
Let me show.
Download part invites.
Week 1.
Download the source code. No, I don't remember exactly which one there. Storing form. You see, storing form information. There it is. Storing form information.
Here,
Is that the one?
the thanks page, right?
No, not the thanks page. Storing form information. The previous video. The previous video.
Fine.
Yeah, see form tag right here.
Oh.
Form tag. You're missing that.
So you.
No,
That's
that's it. Look at that.
Oh,
Look at that.
Okay.
You're missing that.
I got one.
What is that?
Let me show you first. The for each thing doesn't work.
Okay, so let's disable certificates. Again, I asked to disable certificates. So close that. Go to the project. Right click on the recipe there on the project.
Project,
Right click the project,
right click
Yes.
project,
and then go to properties,
properties,
and then go to debug. And then, okay, can you go to build again here? Go to application. One. Okay, 2.1. Okay, that's fine. So go to debug here, and delete this S right from here.
S.
Yes, just save that. It's just to get rid of that SSL error message. Go ahead, try to. Okay, so
I would say. I can't commit.
okay, so show me the code. That's for the list of recipe, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so where are you sending the list of recipes? Where is the code that you send the list of recipes?
Sorry, pardon me.
Okay.
What's your question?
Okay, go to the list recipe here.
Uh-huh.
List recipe expects a collection, correct?
Yes.
How are you sending that to the collection?
Yeah.
No, you call. Where do you call the recipe list? Where do you call it from? The recipe view. Yeah, the controller. So where is it? The recipe list. Where do you call the recipe list?
What do you
Call the recipe list.
list?
Yeah.
Wait, sorry.
Okay. Recipe list. Where do you call it inside the controller?
Here?
Yes. You are not sending anything here to the recipe list.
Wait.
See, you are calling view, but you are not sending anything.
Yes.
Now, you don't have to. For assignment 1, go ahead, show me your recipe list here. Show me your recipe list. For assignment 1, you don't have to do this. That's what I've been trying to say over and over again. It's hard-coded HTML. You don't have to save data. You don't have to do any of that. That's what I've again, I'd said that so many times already. It's all hard-coded HTML, all hard-coded, okay? You don't have to loop through, you don't have to put a model there, you don't have to put, you just have to call the right view and show a hard code. Do you understand hard code when I say hard code? Do you understand that?
Yes.
What is it?
It's like just typing like that.
In the HTML, so you just type.
Okay.
Again, the forms don't need to submit data, it just needs to flow from one view to the other view.
Okay.
Okay? Much simpler, isn't it? Awesome. Yes.
For your code, I'm able to run it, but
Okay, so did you download that?
yes, I
Yep.
already did. I
Okay.
was able to download it.
Okay, so do this. It's asking, yeah, select the first one. Let's see what happens there. Okay, so open it again. Give it a try to run it. Yep. Okay.
So I just download my assignment in here.
Yep.
I'm trying to run it, but it says unable to connect to the web.
Okay. Click OK. Let's right-click the recipe, the project name. Yeah. Right-click. Go to Properties. Okay. Enable. Okay. Enable anonymous authentication. Check the second. Yeah. Just that. Save it. Save it. Yeah. Run it again. Let's see if it will run. Okay. So click OK there. See, right-click. Click this little icon there. Yeah. Right-click this. Right-click. Click on Exit. Click on Exit. Because it's connecting to the other, I think, to the other application. Click Yes. Now, try again. Okay. Click OK. Close everything. Close all Visual Studios there. Both of them. Let's open Visual Studio from there. Yep. Actually, go back to the folder. You were looking at the folder. Don't open yet. Just go to the folder here.
Okay.
Let's go to the sports store. The other folder. The folder at the top. Yeah. Okay. That's okay. That seems to be fine. So again, keep it open. Let's go to Visual Studio there. Try to open the project then. Open project solution. Go to the first one. And let's not open solution. Let's open the project. Go inside the folder. Open the project file instead. The last one. The last one. Okay, let's run it. Okay. run again. Oh, actually open it again. Run it, let's see. Okay. So yeah, sometimes you should do act out.
Yeah, maybe can it like open to Visual Studio?
You can.
I could in my laptop.
Yeah, you can. I just try to close because you never know what's going on, so it's better to start fresh. Open the second one. The only problem that happen is that if both applications were used the same port, but that's very unlikely. Try to open your second one. There. The recipe. See if you can run. Okay, so you may not be able to use both at the same time. Okay. Actually, let me see if there is a. Can you right-click the sports store? Right-click there. Go to Properties. Go to Debug. See, it's using the sport number here, 18673. Let's see the other Visual Studio. Keep it open. Let's see the other one. Right-click there. Go to Properties. And go to debug. You see, it's using a different part. Yeah, I don't know why it's giving a problem, to be quite honest with you.
All right, no
Okay,
problem.
but maybe you pick the one that you want to work with, and then you go for it.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Yep.
Yeah, I already fixed the form.
Okay.
But for the thank you page, it still cannot to turn to the.
Okay, so you fix the thing form.
Yeah, I
Okay.
fixed the form, but
Okay, so let me see the form.
um,
Let me see the form code.
it's, add recipe.
Address. Okay, so let me see the open form tag at the top here, the open tag. Okay, so it's calling this recipe form. What is the recipe form? That's the action. Okay, so where's that in your code? Where is the recipe form action in your controller?
For the recipe form, it has to be matched the.
There must be an action in the controller.
Oh yeah, I see.
Show me the controller. Is it there?
No.
Recipe form? Where is it?
No, it's recipe choosing.
No, it should be there. You should have a view called recipe form. You see, go back to the form tag. Go back to the form tag. See, you said there, ASP action equals to recipe form. So if you have an action called recipe form,
Yeah, maybe
you have to add.
I did the wrong collection.
But now here's the thing.
I should declare the.
Yeah, you have to have an action called the recipe form, okay? And then you code there whatever needs to happen. If it's calling the thank you one, call it,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Okay, we're just going to take a quick attendance here. Alvin?
Yeah.
Amel? Arshdeep, Assad, Ben,
Yes.
Bojang, Brandon, Carlos, Gary, Alan, Imtiaz, Ikra, Jerry, Janyu Chen, Joyeta, Katrina, Li Kai, Lucy, Mustafa, Rina, Tahir, Ha, T2 Ha, Ting Li, okay. When Ma, Tony, Gillian or Gillian? Gillian. Xinglong Lu, Waibin, Wing Zhao, Zhao. If I did not call your name, let me know.
Command line thing.
Yep.
And I don't think the school computers let us do.
Okay. Are getting an error?
No, it's just I'm doing this. I'm doing change directory into that specific part.
Yep.
And it just does not. It refuses to move. It just keeps giving me back the same directory. So if
Okay, let's have a look there. I think that's, I saw some stuff, but most worked fine. So you need to move to another drive.
Yeah.
So just put D. So just put D column.
D colon?
D column. Yep. D. I mean it's D. Yeah. Hit enter. Hit enter. Then you can move.
Oh, and then
You have first move to the drive, and then you're going to go CD.
So it doesn't let me go.
Yeah, straight.
Got it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Sir, can I ask you a quick question? about
Sure.
this line of, disabling scope.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point because I have to show something here, and it's about that. Okay, so if you come, when you not if, but when you come across this disable scope verification, use this line instead, okay? Because the video was recorded using version 2.0 of the framework, and we are using 2.1. So it's important to use this line of code here instead of the one that is being used there.
In the video,
Yeah. Well, so go back to this then.
What if you're using 2.0?
Then you should do this, but you should not use 2.0.
It gives me issues with 2019. I can only use 2.0 or 2.2.
But most likely you're going to have issues with 2.0 moving forward with the database. I saw that next semester, so you're better off with version 2.1.
so in 2.0 you have build.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
What do you suggest that you do at this point? Where I just said
So you say that you're having problems with 2019?
yeah.
Well, which problems? So we have to see which problems exactly.
You should be able to download 2.1 for 2019.
I know, but I already started the project on 2.0.
Well, again, here's the thing. You're going to have a problem later on. If you don't address that right away, eventually you're going to face some problems. I'm telling you this because I saw this last semester. This is why I insist on making sure that we are using 2.1. Because later on, there are bugs in the entity framework that you're going to be having difficulties using with the database. So, again, a few recommendations that I could give to you is if you want to try to fix whatever is going on with your 2019, that's okay. If not, maybe go to 2017. Maybe download 2017. We have the installation instructions on Centennial. So if you go to Centennial under General, you see we have this download Visual Studio 2017. This is provided by Centennial.
I mean, the code for this project, is the source code available where I don't have to
Yes,
do everything?
yes. Okay, you mean for Sports Store, correct? Yeah, it's available. I just show that you can go to source codes, Sports Store, and then it's right there. Okay?
Could you go back to the line of code that has...
Yes, I'll do that right away. Okay, so use that one.
Okay, so sorry, this was the question that I had about that line of code.
Yeah, okay.
When I start to type...
Yeah, just make sure that you get rid of this semicolon. You see, there's no semicolon here in the previous line.
Okay.
It's a continuous, it's a chain of methods being called from the same one.
Because before, when I was typing options, it would auto change to task create options.
Got it.
It would not let
It does not
me-
allow you?
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
to find out what version you used, what ASP version you used for a project after
Yeah.
creating it?
Yes, yes. Go to right click in the project. You have right click in the solution. It's the next one. This is a solution. You right click in the project. Yeah. So right click there. Go to properties. And then right there. See.
Okay, I think I might have to do the same for my project.
For your you mean assignments?
Assignment.
Well, if assignment 1 is running,
Yeah, but later
just
on.
but later on you're gonna so sooner or later you're gonna have to change because otherwise you're gonna have a problem later.
All I have
in
to
the
do is
database.
just copy and paste the.
You can change it there. You can change this place there. So, well,
If I go here
yeah.
and
So you
all-
can go there, but then you would just have to revert the program to this structure. I don't think that you need to do anything else from there. Usually, it's safer to start from scratch. But again, change it there, the framework, and then go to the program and change it and make sure that it looks like this.
Just that.
Just that. That usually is enough.
No, and it does the same thing for my assignment.
Yeah, try to compile after that, but usually that should be enough. Okay?
Perfect. That saves me a lot of stress.
But even if you had to start from scratch as a new project, you have to you can copy the codes. You can copy the codes. Whenever you get to the seed data points, because there are so many products to be added with the seed data class, I've uploaded the seed data.cs to our Slack, okay, so under general. So just you don't have to do a lot of type when you are doing the seed data class, okay? So I've uploaded there just to help you out with typing from the example, from the video.
That, the command line, when we go into the CLI,
Yep,
it should create a folder within.
called migrations. Yep, with some classes inside.
I'm getting an error that says connection string cannot be.
Okay, so double check the spelling of the connection string, data column, whatever column connection string. Check the spelling. There should be no spaces, and it should match exactly, because what it's saying is that it's not finding that. And make sure that you save your project, and make sure that you compile your project before you do that, so everything is compilable. You cannot run the migration scripts if your project is not compiling. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so it should look like this. You get rid of build. Get rid of this line build. And it should end in semicolon, yes. And this is false. It needs a little bit spelling there, okay? In the semicolon here, you should not have this semicolon right here, because this is one continuous line, okay? That should do it.
So when I do the change,
Yep. Okay, let's see there. Okay, you did the change in the
yeah,
of the version?
yeah. So when I
Okay,
go
so let's just make sure that this is all fine there.
it says 2.1 now.
2.1. Okay, so let's go. Save it, because it doesn't seem to be saved yet. Save. See the asterisk here?
Mm-hmm.
It's showing that you changed, but you didn't save
Oh, I
it
just
yet.
save it like this.
Yeah, you can save it with, Control S or,
Maybe that's the issue.
Go ahead, have a look there now. Okay, so let's see here. Startup,
Oh,
use
really?
this for save. And give it a try to rebuild it. Just try to rebuild it. Well, rebuild, I mean that you can go here to the
Oh.
rebuild menu, but that's fine.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Okay, so let's just. Oh, you see, this is the. There's a little problem there. You see, iWeb host builder. It's slightly different from yours.
Oh, I will.
Okay, so again, it has to be exactly the same. Give it a try. Recompile.
Recompile it over.
Yeah, like build, and the second option, rebuild solution. Let's see the message there. It's
Oh, it's still.
there is an output, the output windows there. Can you click output here?
Oh, sorry.
It's already there.
Is
Yeah,
it
it's
still building.
yeah, it's it is.
Should be fine now.
Rebuild all succeeded, but I mean you should have a better output there. Show output from build. I think that you have too much stuff squeezed here, so you may want to open it up. Yeah. Actually, the second one that you did, just bring it down.
This one?
Yep. Well, you know what? It says rebuild all succeeded, so
Succeeded,
you're good. Okay? It's okay. Let's see.
Problem? Okay, cool. So, you know how so but before I it was really simple. So if I can chill it with this.
Sir, is this the seed data class? Did you post that on eCentennial? Or
This what?
like you posted?
I posted on the seed Slack. Yeah, it's one single file on the January Slack channel.
I was looking for it on eCentennial. I started to type it and then I realized that you
There I will just provide the zip files. The next one that I'll provide will have that as well. But once we're done with the exercise.
Oh, so much stuff today for this one. No, it doesn't show up initially. You have to go back. You have to go back out.
Oh, it doesn't show up already.
Yeah, because this or at least that's how it looks to me.
一个空格，一个 tab， 一个 tab。它就是一个 tab， 一就是一个 tab， 就一个 tab 键，就这个空格。呀。这样。
Okay, so first you want to change the drive. So type D column. D column. Yep, column at 2 dots. Yep, enter. And then you go to your folder. You can change it from there. First you have to change the drive. Okay? Okay?
I realized I did. So I created the database already.
Yep.
With the contact. But then I realized I only entered like say 4 items into that database. So it's already created. And now I want to add 4 more. But since it's already created, it's not gonna
creates. The way it's been coded there, it won't recreate again.
So
but you can open the database manually, so you can input them.
Okay.
You can input. But you see how to add manually?
Yes.
Don't you see? Okay, let's. So you can go to view. The view menu. That's the third one, yeah. And then let me see. SQL Server Object Explorer, yeah. Then expand that. You see the first one, yeah. Expand databases. Then you see there. So expand there. Expand tables. Now you can right click on your products table. Right click there. Well, that will show you the structure. So right click and then view data. Then you can add whatever you want to add manually there. Okay. ID most likely it's automatically added for you, but the other fields you can add them.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so there is a problem with your connection string. So it might be a space, it might be a misspelling, but there is a difference between what you put in the startup class and what is there in the app settings.
Okay.
Check the spelling, okay?
Yeah.
Let me know if you still have a problem. Just let me know.
How about
Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's read that. Cannot open database port store. Requested by the login. Okay, great. So it's okay. Let's have a look at the code. Close there. Let's have a look at your app settings.
like here?
The third one.
Oh, third.
Yeah. So server local DB, So good there. Okay, let's try to connect. So stop the project here. I'll be there in a second. Stop the project, go to View, SQL Server Object Explorer. Sometimes the local DB has a different name. So can you just expand this a little bit? Expand here. Expand there, expand the database. Okay, so actually keep the system closed because those are system database. So local DB is there. Local DB, let's see if there's any mass SQL local DB. Yes, it seems to be all good. Let me see your seed data class.
Which one?
Seed data? The models?
Models, yeah.
Yep. You don't have seed data yet. So you didn't create the seed data yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to create, because otherwise that is the one that creates the database.
Perfect.
Okay?
Yeah, sorry.
No problem. What's up?
I run this command.
Okay, yep, go ahead. So getting this arrow.
From my
So,
program class.
yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So rebuild your solution there. 'Cause
Yeah.
I want to make sure that it's unable to open. Yeah. So there's a problem. Might be a problem in your codes, but let it finish there.
Yeah.
Okay. So go back to your codes. Rebuild the application. So go to Build, Rebuild Solution. Let's see if there are any errors there.
Says successfully.
So much stuff on yours. Okay, one succeed. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back there. Go back to the, yeah, try again. Try the command again, yeah. Because sometimes I saw that happen. We need to recompile for it to pick up.
We at least got rid of this error.
Okay, so, okay, close, just minimize that. Just minimize that. I think this is a leftover from the
The dot two.
yes. Open your, right-click on your project. Right-click, scroll up, right-click there. Go to Edit. Yeah, that, yes. Okay, I'm gonna open that file there, and let's see, because there might be a little bit of, I'll be there in a second. There might be a little difference there. And again, that might be a result of the move. So, see, look, it's slightly, yeah, there are a few minor differences there.
This is what it should look like. That yours
Yeah,
looks like.
open,
Mine doesn't look like that.
yeah, let me just see compared to this one here. So, okay. See, this, I don't know if this is the cause, but include there. The version seems to be the same, 2.03. See, this one is a bit different there. See, this part here. So try, I'm gonna send it to you. So I'm actually, yeah, as we are pretty much done with this, I'll upload to eCentennial here in the source codes.
Okay.
I'll upload this version, and then you can check. No, I was gonna upload in any case.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so it's there. Okay, so time is up. Let's do one thing. Let's go for 10 minutes. Once we come back, I'll explain you the code, okay? But yeah, let's go for 10 minutes and we will be back in a second.
Yeah, I got to part 7.
Jillian, you want me to look at something? Can I just move a little bit? Sorry.
About this.
Okay, but you want to move to C?
Yes.
But C is column. C column.
CD.
C. No. Just C. C column. Hit enter. That's it.
Oh.
Okay?